Have you ever wondered why some women over 30 look strong, defined, and calm at the gym while you're doing hours of cardio and still not seeing the muscle or the shape that you want? That's exactly what we're digging into in today's video. But here's the annoying truth. The women who are actually changing their bodies are not doing some sort of magic workout. They're doing a few boring basics that really work. I'm Alexandria. I am a licensed counselor, but I'm also a gym rat in her 30s. And once I finally committed to these boring string packs and habits, I lost over 40 pounds naturally, and I've been able to keep it off for over 6 years at this point. And so hack number one is what I call boring lifts, but sexy results. Here's why most women aren't doing it. We've been sold this ridiculous idea of muscle confusion, where we think if we aren't doing a different workout every single time we step into the gym, that our bodies get bored. I definitely thought this was true for such a long time, but the opposite is actually true. If you're changing your exercises every week, you're never giving your body a chance to actually get any good at them. And so you're just exercising. You're not really training. And training is the key to the body you want, of sorts. Advanced lifters aren't special. They're just very intentional. They do the same squats, the same deadlifts, same presses for 6, 8, or maybe even 12 weeks at a time. Why? Because of neural adaptation. When you repeat the same movement, your brain gets more efficient at it. So as you get better at it, you stop wobbling, you get more confident, and that's when you can actually start to push the weight. Because if you're constantly switching up, then you're just always in learning phase. You're never actually in growing phase. And that's when I learned, that's when I really switched from actually just exercising to building muscle. So it is important to embrace the boredom. If your workout feels repetitive, that's actually a really good sign. It means that you're building a skill, and that consistency is what builds the muscle. Hey guys, if you're finding this video useful or helpful in some way, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And of course, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you love and want to work out and strength train and be a healthy mama, then click subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos in this series. Fact 2, if you don't track it, it doesn't count. And this is one of the things that I continuously see beginners forget to do, but you have to track your weights. I know this sounds basic, but here's why most women fail. They rely on a feeling, right? They go into the gym. I know I definitely did this. You go into the gym, you grab a pair of dumbbells. It just feels right or feels like what you're up to today. And then you do your set. But the problem with that is that if you're grabbing the same, 10-pound pair of weights every single week and doing that goblet squat for a year, your body has absolutely no reason to adapt and change over time. It's just adapted to it. And so this is the concept of progressive overload that you see people talk about. And this is how you see real definition. Your body needs to be challenged over time, and it needs to do a little bit more as you go and as you go. And so what this might look like is this might be, maybe you're doing that 15 pounds, but you're doing it for 8 reps. And then next week you do it for 9 reps. If you aren't writing down the weights that you're using, then you're literally leaving gains on the table because you don't have the numbers. It's not about bro science. It's just about having data. And you need to look at what you did last week. Okay, I did 12 reps at 20 pounds. So today I'm going to go for 13 reps. And this is an intentional push. But it's that tiny increase that signals to your body we need to grow and we need to build new muscle tissue. And so without the data, you're simply guessing. And it's going to just take you so much longer. So write it down, program it, stop guessing. Hack 3, stop treating rest like it's laziness. I know how many of you are looking at me with 4 eyes right now. I know. But this one is definitely the hardest for my high achieving women to accept. But you need to actually rest in between your sets. And I mean, actually rest. This one was really hard for me too. And there is something to be said for programming that has shorter rest depending on the amount of time that you have. And I know it sounds basic, but we don't do it because we typically equate sweat and exhaustion with effectiveness. But that's actually not true. And I see this all the time. I see women in the gym, and I do it too, where a woman finishes her set of squats and then she goes straight into floor burpees. And it's because she thinks she's getting a higher heart rate and burning more fat. But that's actually not true. What's really interesting is if your goal is to change your body composition and build muscle, your cardiovascular system actually shouldn't be the limiting factor. Your muscles should. So if you're panting and exhausted going into your second set of overhead presses, let's say, then you aren't going to be able to lift as heavy as you might for as many reps. So you've accidentally turned your strength workout into a cardio workout. Again, I'm not telling you skip cardio. Hear me when I say this. I'm just saying your strength workout does not need to be your cardio workout. There's room for both. So I recommend resting, honestly, anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute. There's even some research that says 90 seconds to 3 minutes in between super heavy compound lifts. And I know that sounds like an eternity, But that recovery allows your ATP, that's your energy sources, to replenish so that you can hit the next set with maximum intensity. But this zone is money. And when you can push yourself to those heavier weights, again, because you gave yourself permission to recover, that's when the magic happens. It's not laziness, it's an optimization thing. Again, we don't always have to go for optimization, but this is a helpful one. Hack number 4, fuel the machine, aka stop lifting faster. Now, let's talk about nutrition for a minute, specifically around your workouts, because hack number 4 is really about not fasting before you lift. And I know this sounds basic. Eating gives you energy, but it's why so many women ignore it, because we heard intermittent fasting culture and that we burn more fat if we, go to the gym fasted. I definitely did this for a really long time. And then I also thought like maybe it would make me sick to my stomach if I did, but I did an experiment not all that long ago. I'll link it for you if you want to see. But having fuel before you train is scientifically proven to help you have better lifts. So I'm not saying you need to eat a ton of stuff, but eat something, a little bit of carb, a little bit of protein, so that you actually have the energy to lift. If you're trying to build strength and muscle lifting fasted, you're usually counterproductive because high intensity lifting runs on glucose. If you go on empty, your body has to work harder just to find the fuel. So it's often spiking your cortisol, your stress hormone, which is the opposite of what you want to do for muscular. So you're basically cooked before you even get started. And I noticed a massive shift in my own physique when I started eating carbs before I train. I'm definitely able to lift heavier. I don't get lightheaded anymore. And sometimes I even get like a better pump. So again, it doesn't have to be a full meal, but just give yourself something in your bloodstream. Maybe it's a banana. Maybe it's a protein coffee a la Dr. Stacey Sibbs. Think about your body as a high performance car. You wouldn't expect your Ferrari to go and drive on an empty tank, right? So treat your body with the same respect, please. Thanks, Queen. Hack 5. We got to ditch the noise and we got to stick to a plan. I alluded to this one a bit earlier, but here it is. The biggest mental game and the biggest thing that you can do is to ditch the mini one-off workouts and commit to a real freaking plan, okay? I know how basic it sounds. And when I first heard people were like, well, you got to follow a plan, that sounded boring as hell to me, okay? Because we get FOMO. We don't want to miss out. We don't want to, we want to see what so-and-so's doing or whatever. But really and truly, you need to be following some sort of plan. And I know some of you are going to say, I can't follow a plan. I can't stay consistent on a plan. You do you, but I can almost guarantee you will see better results if you stop wasting your time scrolling and picking a workout than if you just pick a single program. And I've got a video all about how to find the best programs on YouTube. If you're not sure, I'll link that here for you in a card. And then I'll also link my creator playlist too. So if you want to pick from a program I've already tested, or if you want to pick from a program for yourself, I'll leave those as well. But realistically, I think what it comes down to is we're so afraid we're not going to pick the right plan that we just never pick a plan at all. But a good enough plan with the right nutrition is going to serve you better than never picking a plan at all, because the consistency does beat the intensity over time. And so maybe it's not the perfect program, but you doing all of the other things in an imperfect program is going to get you far closer than any sort of magic pill, any sort of magic diet, or whatever, sort of nonsense the internet is trying to sell us these days. So this is how you go from beginner to advanced lifter. Let me know in a comment below, which of these basic hacks are you currently neglecting? Are you guilty of the random workouts trend? Are you still trying to not eat before you train? And remember, building your physique you love in your 30s isn't about punishing yourself like all the new trends. It's about acknowledging and training with intention. So if you found this video helpful, then make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to take your fitness to the next game, like I said, I will link that video here. If you want to figure out how to choose your own workout program that's actually going to work so you don't have to keep overthinking it, and then the creator playlist on the left if you want to pick from a program I've already done. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.